There's been a lot of talk about Marcus Smart as far as being a guy that can mentor Ja Morant.
Yeah.
Do you have any concerns?
That's a big reason why he's there.
Yeah. Do you have any concerns about him actually being able to be the starting point guard in this team for 25 games?
Okay, I thought you were going to ask me if I had concerns about him mentoring Ja Morant.
Well, you can go there too.
It's two different questions, right? Yeah. And I think I'm a big fan of the Marcus Smart acquisition. I think there's reason to wonder about both of those questions.
Right.
I found it notable that Ja like came out of hiding basically on social media to praise the Derrick Rose signing. I haven't seen him say anything about the Marcus Smart signing.
He did.
So I have noted that. I think Marcus Smart is a better player than Tyus Jones. I think Marcus Smart absolutely will have more utility for them in the playoffs than Tyus Jones, especially if Ja is back.
Right.
Will he be a better starting point guard in Ja's absence than Tyus Jones was? Tyus Jones was a really good starting point guard in Ja Morant's absence. And I think even though Marcus Smart's a better player, he's such a different kind of player than Tyus Jones. I don't assume that he'll step in as smoothly as Tyus Jones did and that they'll have as much success right out of the gate with Marcus Smart as a starting point guard as they did with Tyus Jones, right? Just because Tyus Jones, they were so used to playing with Tyus. Marcus Smart is such a different kind of player, and even though he's better, I don't know that the team will function as well immediately with him as starting point guard. I don't know. What do you think?
I think he'll be fine. I think with Rose being there too, it'll kind of help out even if he is kind of struggling to play the point.
Right.
We saw Bain kind of run some point, and I think you also said that over the years, not just Tyus Jones minutes, but any non-Ja minutes, the team was still fine as far as numbers are concerned. So
yeah, they did an interesting job the past 2 years because Ja's going to miss 25 games. He's been missing 25 games every year for different reasons, right? Everyone knows like they've done well when Tyus Jones is at the point guard, but the key to their success with Ja out is they've done well when Tyus Jones is not the point guard without having a third point guard, right?
Yeah.
And I think one of the
Kenny
things
Chandler minutes look good.
Well, he didn't play that much. I mean, it was really these lineups, and really 2 years ago when they had Melton and Kyle Anderson with Bain, you had multiple ball handlers. And the trick is, can they find other people other than Bain? But I think they really liked the look, and they didn't get a lot of it. But what they saw, they really liked Bain and Kennard together. And I think they really want to take a look at that. So I would say don't assume, even the first 25 games when Ja's out, don't assume Derrick Rose is playing all those backup point guard minutes every night. I bet there may be some nights like back-to-backs and stuff where they don't use him.
Yeah, I kind of feel the same way on that for sure.
Also got Shaq Harrison after 5 games.
Yeah, but I thought that was kind of intriguing though that they're adding him, and I know DeMichael Cole was like, keep in mind that once the Grizzlies hit that threshold,
that's what it is. I don't think it's a done deal that they're going to sign him to that open roster spot.
Yeah.
But I think the idea is come to training camp, you're basically auditioning for that spot, and if we like what we see, we'll say, hey, just go sit on your couch for 5 games and we'll get back to you.
Yeah, I just think that's kind of interesting, being that you have Marcus Smart and you have Derrick Rose, that you're bringing on another point guard like that. They
have the spot, and again, I don't think it's a done deal. I think if they have some other injury in training camp, and suddenly you've needed another position, you may go a different way with it. But I think, you can never have enough ball handling. I think Harrison's a guy who can he's sort of like a poor man's Marcus Smart. That he's a defense-first player and he can defend multiple positions. So if you have a guy who can defend 1, 2, or the 3, at a good level, that's a good guy just to have around. And again, I may be proven wrong about this, but I am skeptical of how much Derrick Rose is going to help on the floor. I think that's a locker room signing. That's a Udonis Haslem signing.
Yeah, there are people who totally disagree with you. There was a guy that was arguing with me like he's going to get Kyle Lowry minutes. I'm like, no, man, Kyle Lowry gets like 30 minutes a game. I don't think he's getting that at all. I think Derrick Rose probably still has something left in the tank, but I'm just open to see. I want to see. I'm really intrigued to see.
He was really good 2 years ago with the Knicks, right? And he, A, wasn't very good, and B, didn't play much last season. And the mystery is that because he couldn't do it, or is that because the Knicks went away from him for other reasons?
Right.
And that's what we don't know.
Right. Something else, I'm going to come back to the part about leadership as far as helping Derrick Rose and all those type of things about Marcus Smart. But I've been a big proponent of believing that he's a guy that can guard the best player on the other team, whether he's a 1, the 2, or the 3. That's what I've been saying the entire time. Marcus Smart.
That's the idea.
Right. And everyone, I'm sorry, not everyone. A lot of people are coming back saying, well, I hope you're right. Because if you're not right, you don't have a lot of options as far as who's your guy to replace Dylan Brooks. Let's say it doesn't work. what does that look like? Like, what's your plan B as far as?
Oh, I think that's a problem.
Yeah,
if it doesn't,
that's
work.
a major problem.
I know.
Yeah.
You know, and when that trade happened, I got a text from one of my best friends who's a he doesn't live in Boston anymore, but he's alive. He grew up in Boston, so rabid Celtics fan, watches every game. And he was basically like, we love Marcus Smart. You're going to love Marcus Smart. It was all this great stuff about Marcus Smart. And then it was, but yeah, I think the Celtics were trying to get out early because he's about to turn the corner, right?
Yeah.
And so I think there's some belief among some Celtics people that like he declined a little bit last season and the Celtics are like selling high before he turns the corner. That could end up being true. But there's also some belief that he was banged up last year. And my friend even said, you know, he had some hip problems last year and like he wasn't totally healthy. And so the question is, are you going to get last year's Marcus Smart, who was a good player? Or are you going to get 2 years ago Marcus Smart, who was Defensive Player of the Year, right? And I don't know the answer to that.
Right.
But the idea of Marcus Smart is same, even though he's like 6'1", 6'2", and Dillon's like 6'6", 6'7", I don't think there's much difference in the two defensively in terms of who they can guard. And really with the Grizzlies, yeah, Dillon could like scale up and guard Karl Anthony Towns, and that was valuable.
Right.
It was more valuable for the Grizzlies that he could scale down and guard De'Aaron Fox and Steph Curry and Damian Lillard and those players. I think when John Morant's your point guard, you need your small forward not just to be a good defender, but to be a good defender who can scale down and take on guards.
Yeah.
And so if anything, Marcus Smart should be even better at that.
Yeah. If it doesn't work, I'm confident that it'll work. But another thing you got to think about if it doesn't work, if you can't have him being a guy that's playing 30-something minutes a game, being guarding the best
Who's
guy.
stepping up defensively?
Right.
And Zaire better be as good as people thought he was 2 years ago. Right?
And not just that. And if you take him off the court, as being that small guy who can guard the three, you're talking about a guy who's a backup point guard at that point, which is a disaster. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
For sure.